Hello everyone, welcome to Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. First, we are sorry that we were unable to post videos for the last 2 days. I think I had a very bad case of cold and I was unable to make any videos. I'm still recovering. Today's video is on a Sudoku created by Mark Sweep. It is called Sudoku N-sums. This was posted on wcpn.nl website and I solved this yesterday. This was an excellent Sudoku. So as you can see, the clues are similar on either side of the grid. Whichever clue you take, it has an exact duplicate on the other side. An excellent creation and just two symmetric givens. Okay, rules are just a second. Okay, place the digits 1 to 9 exactly once in each row, column and 3 by 3 block. So standard Sudoku rules. Apart from that, clues outside the grid indicate the sum of the first n digits placed from that side in the corresponding row or column, where n can be any number. So you take, for example, this clue, the 24 clue, and start summing up the digits from this direction. You will land up to 24 at some cell. It can be the third cell, it can be the fourth cell, it can be the fifth cell, or it can even be the sixth cell. But this total must be reached when you sum the digits starting from this direction. The same is true for every clue. If you take, for example, this 15 clue, you have to reach 15 by summing up digits starting from this direction, and digits may also be single cell. For example, you can have a 6 here and satisfy this clue. So these are the rules. An excellent Sudoku. Let's start it now. The first thing to remember in this Sudoku is the sum of digits in any row, column or box of a Sudoku is always 45. Now if you look at these two clues, you also have 42s here. Let's start with this. This must take 42 along this direction and 42 along this direction as well, which means there are only two ways to do that. You either have 3 here or a 1 and 2 here, and similarly for this 42 you either have a 3 here or a 1 and 2 here, which means that you write the possibilities. This will be 1 2 3, this will be 1 2 3, and 3 must be in one of these two cells. This much we can reduce. The same is true for this as well. There must be a 3 in one of these two cells. And similarly for the 41, the only way is to have 4 in one of these two cells, and the other way to make 41 is by removing 1 and 3. So either have 1 3 here or a 1 3 here. So which means the possibilities are, oops, sorry. This will be 1 3 4. This will be 1 3 4. So this is how you start the Sudoku. The next thing is to look at these 22 clues. Now if you add both the clues together, you get 44, which means that there is exactly one cell in between which takes the value 1, so that the total becomes 45, and there is no overlap between these two. By overlap I mean you can't have, for example, let's say these 6 cells sum up to 22 and these 4 cells sum up to 22, so which means this cell gets added twice, and naturally the total should be more than 45 then, so that is not possible. And I said that 1 must be somewhere in the middle. 1 is clearly not here, because if you take 1 here, then the 22 must stop in these two cells, because 1 cannot be taken by the 22, and that will clearly break the Sudoku. So 1 is not here, and similarly 1 is not here. So this becomes a 2 3 pair. That's not a 1. I'm sorry, that's not a 3. And the moment you take 2 and 3 here, this 22 becomes at least 4 digits long. Right? You can take a 3 here. You will still need 3 more digits to get to 22. So this will at least be 4 digits long, and this will at least be 4 digits long, which means that the 1 has to be here. Because if not, it becomes part of the 22 clue and the Sudoku will break. The 1 has to be exactly not be taken by both the 22 clues. This is a 1, and which means this has to be 4. This is a 3 to satisfy this. Okay. Now look at these 25 clues. They add up to 50. There is clearly overlap. So it can either be 1 cell, 2 cells, or even 3 cells. Now, the other thing we can know for sure is 25 is at least 4 cells long, and it can be as long as 6 cells. Cannot go till 7 cells, because then these 2 cells must sum up to 20 for the row, and that will break the Sudoku. So it's either 4 cells, 5 cells, or 6 cells. Let's see what happens if it's 4 cells. Now we know that there is overlap, so which means this 25 must take 6 cells. So the overlap is happening here, and we know that these two sum up to 50, which means that this cell has to be a 5. Let's take a different color. This would be a 5, right? Because this particular cell gets added twice, and 45 plus 5 will give you 50. Now remember, this is 4 cells long. Not to get to 25, even if you are to take a 3 here and an 8 9 here, you'll just about reach 25. But what does this do to the 6th clue? Breaking the puzzle, right? 6 is getting broken, which means that this 25 can never be 4 cells long. Now let's see if it is 5 cells long. Now obviously this 25 clue cannot be 4 cells, because I said at the start that there must be overlap. Now that this is 5 cells, this is either 5 cells or this is 6 cells. But 5 cells is clearly ruled out, because then this becomes a common cell, and this has to be a 5, which is clearly not the case. So this would have to be 6 cells, and this becomes a 1 now. And remember that this was 1, 2, or a 3, right? And now even if you were to add all these cells, we get the same thing here. Let's put a 3 here, just maximizing, and 4, 1 and 3 adds up to 8, and you need 17 more to get to 25. So this will be 8 and 9 obviously, and again the Sudoku is breaking. So clearly we have established that the only way this clue could work is by taking 6 cells. Now this 25 clue also cannot be 6 cells long, because then these 3 cells will be common, and the total outside will at least be 52, which is not possible. So you have 50 here. Let me put first 1 2 3 here. That somehow got erased. This 25 clue is 6 cells long. Now this 25 clue must be either 4 cells long, or it must be 5 cells long. This is a 5. Let me think here. Okay, the next thing that immediately follows is, when you know that these 6 cells add up to 25, what does these 3 cells add up to? It's clear, right? They must add up to a 20, because in any row, column, or box of a Sudoku, the digits sum up to 20, The only way to get 20 here is by putting a 3 here and an 8 and a 9 here. This is a very difficult reduction. Not the part about the 20, but the part just before that, where you establish that 25 must be 6 cells long. This 25. Okay, so 3 gives 2 here, which means for this 42, 1 must immediately follow here. So this becomes 3, and this will become a 1-2 pair. Now look at the 6th clue. It must be 4, 5 or a 6. 5 is ruled out because 5 will need a 1 here, which is clearly ruled out. So it's 4 or 6. And let's look at this row and this cell. This will be 5, 6 and 7. 5 and 7 are ruled out because 5 needs a 1 and 7 will break this clue. So this is a 6. This is a 4. That follows up immediately. That's a 2. So let's just mark clues which are used already. So this is already done. They are not going to help anymore. Okay. Now let's continue the puzzle. Look at these ones. That puts a 1 here. Now look at this 12. This 12 can be minimum 2 cells and it can be maximum 4 cells, right? 4 cells is ruled out because these will be at least 1, 5, 6 because of 2, 3, 4 here, and that gets to 12. So this is either 2 cells long with a 1 here, or this is 3 cells long. That has to be deduced. Let's come back to that later. Look at this 10 clue. This is minimum 2 cells long and maximum 3 cells. 4 is obviously ruled out because you will have 1, 2, 3, 4 and both 1 and 2 are here. So it can be 2 cells or 3 cells. 3 cells will be 3, 4 and 5 and breaks the puzzle. So it's 2 cells. 1 and 2 and 6 gives you 3, 7 right away. That puts a 7 in here. And 9 is not here, so 9 goes here. I'm looking at this clue now. Okay. 3 in here gives a 3 in here. And look at this 22. These 4 cells sum to 22. So which means these 2 cells sum up to 15. So only possibilities 9, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8. 1 here gives a 1 here. Look at this 9. So this will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7 and 8 will be ruled out because of this 1 and 2 here. 9 can never be reached. And even 6 is ruled out because you can't take 1, 2 here nor a 3 here. 6 is also ruled out. This is 5 or 9. Now this 12 can be 3 cell long, cannot be 4 cells. If it's 3 cells, this would be 3, 4, 5. If it is a single cell, it would be, if it's 2 cells, it would be 3 and 9. Okay. kind of stuck here. Okay, you have a 1 here, right? Which means this is not 1. And now this 12 cannot be 2 cells anymore. This would be 3 cells at least, and it cannot be more than that. So it will be 3 cells, and you know that the minimum sum from 3 cells is now 156, and that gives you 12 exactly. Excellent. So this is not 6, and these 2 cells sum up to 15, so this is not 9, 7, 8. So these 2 cells can be filled up. 5, 6, 9 and 5, 6, 9. So 9 cannot go here, 9 goes here. That will mean this is a 7, 8. 7, 8 pair resolves this. So this is a 7, this is a 3. And now look at this 12. It cannot be 3 cell long anymore because the minimum sum from 3 cells is now 3, 4, 5. Because of this 1, 2, this will be 3, 4, 5. And 5 is already here. So 3, 4, 5 is ruled out. So it's 2 cell long. And it has to be 3 and 9. That gives you a 5 here, which means this would have to be a 4. No other digit is possible. So 5 and 9, so that gives a 6 here. That gives a 9 here. These two become 7, 8 pair. And look at this row. This becomes a 5, 6 pair. And now 9 here, removes the 9 here, 9 goes here. 8 is not here, so this is an 8. That gives a 4, 5 here. And 4 is resolved. So look at this row. 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 7. Okay, you can't have 7 in this cell because you can never reach 25. 3, 8, 9 is 20, and then if you put 7 here, it becomes 27. 7 is not here, so 7 goes here. That gives 8 here, and a 7 here, and an 8 here. So I can have 8, 5. And then 1 and 2 here, so which means this will be 1 and this will be 2. Or I can have 8, 6 here and a 2 here, so this will always be 2, right? 8, 5 is 13, so 13 cannot take a 3 here, so it will be 1 and 2, and 8, 6 is 14, so this will still be 2. This is always 2. I may or may not have 1 here depending on this value. And 8 here resolves this. 7, 8. This will be a 4, 7 pair, and which can be instantly resolved. Four here, so 4 goes here. Look at this clue. This cannot be 9 and 5. Then you can never reach 15. So this has to be 9 and 6. That will be a 5. So this clue is done. Okay. Look at this 24 again, 25 again. You can't have 2 here. That makes this 22, and 22 plus 4 is 26. So this will be a 1 forced. Now both of these are done. Very nice. Look at this 15 clue. Cannot be 2 cell long, cannot be 3 cell long because it gives 14 from these cells, and both of which are ruled out because of 6 and 9 here. 6 and 8 and 5 and 9 both are ruled out. So it's either 4 cell long or 5 cell long. If it's 5 cell long, you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. That is ruled out. So it is clearly 4 cell long. So which means these 3 cells also must sum up to 15, because you have 15 from here, 15 from here, and for the entire column you need 45. 15 plus 15 is 30. So these 3 cells must sum up to 15, which means these two sum up to 11. So they must be 3 and 8. No other possibility. 2, 9, 4, 7, 5, 6 are ruled out. So this is 3 and 8. That forces 7 into this cell. This becomes a 2, 5. And if you add these 4, you get 15. Now 3 can't be here, 3 can't be here. So 3 is forced here. That box can be filled out quickly. 8 becomes a 6 and a 9. Okay, now look at the 16. 3, 7 is 10, and you can't have 9 here. So that's a 6 and that's a 9, and that finishes off that clue. These 3 cells must be 1, 4, 9. This will be 2, 5, 6. Now look at this 10. This 10 is already finished. Let's paint it. This 10 cannot be 2 cell long. 1 and 9, 2 and 8, 3 and 7, 4 and 6 are all ruled out. So it has to be 3 cell. 4 is also ruled out because 3 is here. So it's 3 cell long, which means you can find this digit, right? This sums up to 10, and these sum up to 33. 33 plus 10 is 43, so this would have to be 2 to satisfy the row. The 5, 2, 6, 9, 3, 7, 8, so 1 is forced here. That becomes a 4, 5 pair. This will be 2, 6, 7. Can't have 2 here. No, 6 or a 7 is ruled out here, so that's a 2. Now that 1 is placed here, look at this clue. This cannot be 8 here. This is a 9, this is 8. That 9 forces 9, 3. This is done, 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 this is done. Only the middle clues are left. This is also done. Excellent Sudoku. Now this will be 3, 4, 5. 6 here removes the 6. 5 here removes the 5. These will be 1, 2, 6. Can't have 1 here or a 1 here. 9 is not here. Okay, look at this 24. It is minimum 3 cells, but it cannot be 3 cells because you have a 9 here. So this cannot be 7, 8, 9. So it's at least 4 cells long. And sorry. So if you add these 2, you get up to 48, and which means there is clearly overlap. So this can be 4 cells and this can be 6 cells, right? Just like this 25 clue, 24 has to be minimum 3 cell long and maximum 6 cell long. It cannot be going to 7 cells, because then these 2 cells must sum up to 21, and that breaks the Sudoku. And in this case, we have seen that this 24 is at least 4 cells long, which means this 24 must be at least 6 cells long because there is overlap. And you must have a 3 in this cell. I'll highlight the cell as red If this is the only overlap cell, you must have a 3 here, because these two clues add up to 48, and you must have 3 here so that that cell gets added twice and total becomes 48, which is clearly not the case. So only possibility is this, not the only possibility. The next possibility is this becomes 5 cell long. Okay. Now the other 24 cannot be 5 cell long, because then this cell would need to take a 3. It has to be 6 cell long, and this will be 2 and this will be 1. That is possible. Or this 24 becomes 6 cell long, and this 24 is forced to be 4 cell long. These are the only possibilities. If it is 6 cell long, this cannot be obviously 5 cell long, because then these two cells will sum up to more than 3. Remember that the overlapping part can be as large as 3 only. So if this is 6 cell long, this is forced to be 4 cell long, but that's not possible, right? Because if this 24 is 4 cell long, can it get to 24 at all? 3 and 5 add up to 8, and you need 16 more, right? So 9 and 7, possible. It is possible. So what am I missing here? Okay, let's do some Sudoku stuff. 3 is in one of these two cells, and in this row 3 is forced here, and 8 is in one of these two cells for the column, and that forces 8 here. So remember, in tough Sudokus you have to always be on the lookout for both the things, variant part as well as the classic part. So this will be 2, 6 and 7. Am I missing some clue here? Yeah, this 16, which I just highlighted. I thought that it was done actually. 8 plus 5 is 13, 13 plus 2 is 15. So this would have to be 1, right? That becomes 4, 9. And now we know that this 24 cannot be 5 cell long. We earlier saw a possibility where this can be 5 cell long and this can be 6 cell long, in which case this will be 2 and this will be 1. Now that is ruled out. So this is clearly 6 cells and this is clearly 4 cells. Only possibility. So that is a 3. This would all be maximum in order to get up to 24, right? You need 21 from these cells. So 2 is ruled out. And 21 without 8 always needs a 9. So 9 is here. That resolves this 9, 4. This 3 gives 8. 3 is forced here. This is 4 or 5. And these add up to 12. And only possibility is 5 and 7. That gives 6, 7, 5 resolves this 4, 5 pair. That's a 2. This will be 4, 6. Eight is here, so that's 8. That's a 5 for the column. That's 1. 6, 5. 6 gives 2, 1. 4 and 7 give us 6 here. And this is a 7, 4. 4, 6. 6 and 6 give 6. 5 and 2. And with this we have completed this gorgeous Sudoku. Just a gorgeous Sudoku by Mark Sweep. Excellent deductions. Main deductions I think which drove this Sudoku was finding that this 25 is at least 6 cell long, and then that this was the absolute main deduction, and then these 10 clues draw the grid, and seeing that this 12 clue is at least 3 cell long, and then this came into play was really important. So an excellent Sudoku to say the least. Thanks Mark Sweep for creating a wonderful Sudoku. Hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a comment under the video. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.